Hi there, this is Jiggly with MIR97.com, and we are here at the quarterfinal of the U.S. Open Cup at SeatGeek Stadium for the Chicago Fire against Houston Dynamo. Coming into this game, Houston has won it more recently, back in 2018. The Fire have a longer history with the tournament, winning it 4 times in the past and looking for their 5th at the moment. The Fire have also made the semifinals 5 times in the past decade, while the Houston Dynamo only made it once, which was the one time that they made it to the final to win. The Fire have been a bit lax about the way that they've been approaching the Open Cup over the past few years, but with the coaching staff that is all old players and the glory of the Cup fresh in their minds from their playing days, they want to get it now.
And going into the game, Houston and the Fire come in on some interesting form. The Fire have had an interesting route to this game, winning the first Chicago derby since 2000 against Chicago House, and the first ever Downriver derby against St. Louis City, as well as a game against Fire legend Josh Wolf's new team, Austin FC. Meanwhile, despite this success in the Cup since their switch to interim head coach Frank Klopas, league play has been a bit of an issue. In their last 2 games, they've drawn and lost against Toronto FC and FC Cincinnati respectively. Their attack seems to have completely forgotten how to shoot the ball. On the other side, the Houston Dynamo have just fallen out of the playoffs with humiliating losses to St. Louis and Vancouver. But there's also history between these two teams in knockout rounds, as one of the Fire's last 2 playoff appearances in the past decade was a loss to Houston at this very stadium on Halloween back in 2012. Before we head on inside, let's hear from Nick, the chair of the Independent Supporters Association and a friend of the site.
You remember the last time we won silverware?
Jeez. Well, not counting the Brimstone Cup, yeah, back in 2006, the U.S. Open Cup. Yeah, that was the last time I remember us winning silverware.
So what makes the Open Cup different from a league game and everything else?
Is because every soccer team is included in the nation. Not only you have the big MLS clubs and USL championships, you have lower division clubs like a Chicago House or Crescent City out of New Orleans. And to say that you're the national champion, saying that you're the best team in this tournament in all the nation, that's something huge.
So why are you here on a Tuesday?
One, I have no woman. I have no life. 2, I love the Fire, man. I love tournaments. Like soccer tournaments, anything can happen. And even though the Fire are meddling in the middle of the pack, it's still, we get a chance to win hardware. That's big. A dynamo is an indigenous Houston species. I think it's like chupacabra a little bit, but it's kind of like a myth. I think it's like something like a myth or something. Like no one's ever seen a dynamo out in the wild, but they say it's there, like chupacabra or Bigfoot.
And so, the game begins. The first half was slow, with the Fire seemingly more tired than Houston despite having rested most of their starters over the weekend. Houston was able to take advantage of a dicey penalty call and took the lead with another for good measure. However, the Fire were able to claw one back before the end of the half, raising a bit of hope.
At halftime, the Fire are now down 2-1 after a couple of iffy goals. Maybe there were some referee calls that could have been done better, but we talked to some fans about it.
At halftime, we spoke to some more friends of the site.
All right, we're recording.
Clap.
Can you hold this for 1 second?
Rolling film.
Oh my God. Well, chupacabra's real.
What happened in the first half?
Well, Arno Suke is what happened in the first half.
That was damning. The feeling in the stadium after Houston went up 2-0, I felt like everyone had already kind of given up and everyone was doom and gloom about it.
First goal, you never put your hands on the player's shoulder as they're entering the penalty area, especially with no VAR, where the referee makes a split-second decision, can't review where the foul started or where the foul actually occurred. You don't put yourself in that situation, number 1. Number 2, don't commit a foul there. Don't get cooked.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, God. If it wasn't for him scoring that goal, I would literally try to strangle him with piano wire right about now because he's involved a lot.
Goal number 2, Suke is nowhere to be found on his right side of the field. He's the right center back. He gets cooked. He gets totally cooked. And yes, I think Spencer Ritchie needs to do a lot better in saving that near post. I think that's a big flaw of his goalkeeping abilities there.
That goal to bring one back is huge. They now have a chance in the second half, so we'll see if they can do it. But at least, the environment's good again. It was bad. If it becomes 3-1 Houston, this stadium's going to fall flat, and everyone's going to kind of be like, damn, we suck again. But for now, it's okay. Great header from Suke.
But Suke, in my opinion, is the ultimate reason why Houston had 2 golden chances to get those 2 goals. They were honestly both pretty crappy goals. But they scored, and a goal is a goal at the end of the day. Did Suke get a goal back? Yes, good on him. But he's still -1 goals on the half. We're still 2-1, and honestly, Suke had a part in all 3 goals, so we're losing.
We're still technically in this game, so let's just see how this goes. I just got this sinking feeling, but it's an open cup, and if anyone can get this team across the finish line, it's Klopas. So.
I don't know why they're playing the 3-back system, especially you're at home, you're in a cup game, you go win this game. Hopefully Frank shifts to the 4-2-3-1 or whatever they play, and they go from there. But yeah.
Frank gonna win it?
Yes.
I think momentum's on the Fire side, so.
Yes, I think they still win this one, but we'll see. I mean, we got 45 minutes. We might get 30 more at the end of this because it's the Open Cup and it's the Fire Houston, but we'll see.
If Suke gets off the field, maybe, or if he picks up his act, yeah, I think so. I believe that we will win it, but Suke's a liability right now, and I didn't like that.
I'm going to be optimistic for the last time in the season, so I'm saying, yeah, they're going to win. They're going to win this.
No, the Fire, they have to win. They have to win. Chicago's been on such a slump. It's been rough for about a decade, maybe more already. They changed stadiums, they changed logos twice, they changed coaches about an infinite number of times. They have to win. They have to win.
The second half got off to a roaring start as a blown penalty call left all of the game screaming at the ref. Even I, the calm narrator that I am, may have been a bit overzealous in my reaction. With momentum stolen, Houston put up 2 more goals, and the exodus from the stadium had begun. With the game all but over, the only thing left to do for the Fire faithful was to continue to show their love for the club. But love and rage are 2 emotions that are very close together on the spectrum, and Nick still had some thoughts.
Anger is not the word that I'm describing right now. That was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. If those guys are MLS refs, they should be fired. Yeah, that game was crap. I don't know what else to say. That game was absolute garbage. And MLS is not going to be in this tournament much longer. That's a shame. Because it's supposed to be everyone. And they're going to end up screwing like the team that wins, say it's USL Elite 2. It was like, oh, we won the cup. We want to go to CONCACAF. No, we're not going to let you. It's just garbage. This game was garbage. Well, that's the season because we ain't winning the Leagues Cup. Like the lantern was on. I was like, oh, it's 51 days to the Leagues Cup. And I had to go, we ain't winning that either. So why are you counting down the days? Season's over. So they could have just had some heart. I mean, they need some substitutions. Like they needed some key substitutions. They needed to get Jimenez off the field earlier. Shaqiri, there was parts, especially after that third goal, he was just like, oh, I don't care anymore. It was like the old Shaqiri again. There was some passes. It's like, what are you doing? It's just this team has, like, they thought this is the only way they get hardware, and the refs came in and says, no, we're not calling this, we're not calling that. And they just gave up, which is sad. I mean, yeah, it's frustrating as a fan watching that and just going, come on, man, play to the end. But seeing their point of view, they were just like, forget it. Whatever. I mean, they're still technically in the playoff hunt. I didn't see Messi signing with Miami.
There's a report in the middle of the game
that he's going to sign with Miami.
That he's very close with Miami.
What? We're not winning for about 10 years. I don't know what else this team can do. I think just might have to call it a season, see who we could get in the offseason. See if we could get rid of Shaqiri, see if we could bring in someone else, see if we can just tell them to keep Gutierrez. It's like, hey, Gutierrez is not for sale. We're keeping him.
What position's priority to fix?
They need a coach.
They need to make a change between now and end of the season or next season, start next season.
The GM.
Other than on the field, sorry.
On the field, you need another. You need a scorer. You need somebody who can score, and you need someone on that center back line, and you need someone in the middle, a playmaker in the middle. But I don't know. It depends on who you give. They get someone Lewandowski. They get Lewandowski. We're good.
Hey, Lewandowski is realistic.
Honestly, kind of looking at it like, hey, we might get him. Like, hey, Miami's got Messi. We got Lewandowski. We're good.
So there's a lot of issues going on right here. Defensive issues. There's a lot of personnel issues. And there's the refereeing issues. I don't know what to say at the moment. Was not the ending that we all expected and wasn't the ending that we all wanted. But that's the end of the 2023 U.S. Open Cup run. We'll see what happens next time with a hopefully record-breaking, 5th U.S. Open Cup. I'm Jiggly. This has been MenInRed97.com. Come on, you Men in Red.
Thank you again for watching, and a special thank you to Tim, Paul, Nick, Arai, and Adnan for helping to make this video.
I'm recording this.
All right, sound, clap. Woo! I know that's at the same time. Is that good?
All right.
Is that all you need? Does that work?
Yeah.
I want to go meet Beatles.